So what else? Do you ever get past this? You know, do you have just those years where everything goes bad and then it's over with? Y'all ever think about that sometimes? Oh, I had a bad year, but it's going to be gone, that's it? Well, it keeps coming after you. A few years after that, we had what I called the summer of our discontent. Our whole sales team basically turned over. Guys went out and started their own businesses. I guess I was a pretty good teacher, I don't know. But people left, the whole sales team. And then sadly, for the first time in the history of the company, we lost an employee, died after surgery and everything, so had a transplant. Tough stuff, tough to watch your operations people there crying in a funeral home, tough to inspire people, tough to keep going. But the thing in my head, right, that keeps ringing in my head all the time, you can never give up. You replace those people, you do what you got to do in terms of the sales team, and then you pray for the family of your employee that passed away and you move on. And we did that. And the next year, guess what? Record profits, 30% increase in revenue the next year in 2008. In the middle of that, what was that called? Yeah, the recession. Okay, so is it all serious? I'm going to close it out with a couple of things here. It's not always all serious. We've been through a lot of adversity, right? But sometimes, you know, when you get to those kind of things, there is a good side of this. And I'm going to tell you a quick little story here, but let's talk about what I did on my summer vacation of 2008. Ever since I was a little boy, I dreamed of playing baseball for the New York Yankees. And somewhere in my rattled brain, I had this idea that someday I'd play in the stadium itself. Well, I am proud to tell you, in the summer of 2008, after all that bad stuff and all these crazy things, I got a chance to live my dream, and I played baseball with the New York Yankees in Yankee Stadium. And it was really, really a dream come true. That's the kind of message I want to give you today. And you know what? Never quit, no matter what the obstacles you face. Never, ever give up. Always, always keep swinging. Thank you. You guys may have any questions? Surely there's an accountant out there that asks about that fraud, so we got to ask Becky.
It's not about accounting, but how did you get to play for the Yankees?
Well, I wish I could tell you it was talent, Becky, but actually the truth of the matter is, if you're willing to write a check, they'll let you do some things with them. And I've actually participated in these things called fantasy camps and all, and so I was on the mailing list, and you know, it was one of those kind of crazy things. I thought, well, it's the old Yankee Stadium is getting ready to disappear essentially, and they're moving into the new facility. And I saw the names on the list. It were these guys I used to watch on TV. I mean, Ron Guidry, Goose Gossage, and all these guys from the 70s and 80s, and then some of the guys that played for Joe Torre, Tim Raines, and some of the baseball fans may know some of these names. And I was like, when am I ever going to have another chance like this? And I kind of gulped when I looked at the amount of money they wanted, and I thought, I got to go do this. And I was so nervous. I remember standing at the plate, and this guy, if you're a baseball fan, Jeff Nelson, who played for the Yankees several years ago, played in the 2003 World Series. He's up there, all 6'8" of him, as a pitcher for the Yankees. And I'm standing at the plate, and I'm going like that. I remember looking at him like, don't hurt me, please. I actually hit the ball pretty good against him, but it was a lot of fun, and you know, just a once-in-a-lifetime thing. I don't have a lake house, I don't have a mistress, I don't have a boat. I got a favorite baseball team. It's called the New York Yankees. So, anybody else? Certainly want to know about the embezzlement, right? Yes, ma'am.
Was it an overnight vision? Is it something that was going around in your head before you got laid off? Was it a question of necessity?
I bet you're a PhD, aren't you? You're probably one of those college professors. That's a great question. I appreciate the fact you thought I had vision. I actually just needed a job, but I love video conferencing. I mean, I just thought it made a lot of sense. Being a corporate person, I thought, I've been in a ton of these meetings and things where you're flying across the country in there for an hour or two. Y'all been in those kind of meetings? It's like, does this make sense? And my nature is, I'm kind of a cheap person by nature. Now, don't remember that part, Kevin, all right? He just got a raise, so he can't really say that. But anyway, but I just was thinking, you know, why is a company spending $1,500 for a hotel and plane ticket and a meal when we could do this in a different way? So my vision was, I was working for this other company and I actually had a video conferencing division that I was running. And when the company fired me, I thought, well, they want to get away from this stuff, but I don't. And you know, God bless the free enterprise system, because I made C's in college, y'all. I'm not a smart guy. I just, did the old-fashioned thing. I just put my head down, as my mother told me, went to work, and hired some great people like Kevin and others folks, and they made me look good through the years. But I believe in this stuff, and I think it's, it's good technology. It has people, that be more efficient. And the other thing too, when you say vision, I think it was, and I appreciate the compliment on that, but I think it was also a case of having the patience to have this kind of play out. We kept the business really pretty small for a number of years before it kind of grew into what it is today, which is, we've got 40-something employees, and we're, based in Memphis, got an office in Nashville, and then we've got, people scattered across the Southeast. But I just always had in the back of my neck feeling that it could be a bigger business, and it was just a hunch that paid off. A lot of them, unfortunately, don't, but I got lucky. And like I said, God bless the free enterprise system. If you don't believe that this is a great country, I'm a living, breathing example of it, because, there's no way, after you look at this thing on paper, you saw the business plan, this shouldn't have worked. There's no way this really should have worked. I should have been one of those statistics, but we just got lucky. Yes, ma'am.
When you read the book, like The World is Flat and all this series, and all that stuff that's going on in India, how they're just all wired for this type of video conferencing. Can you tell us a little bit how that works?
Well, sure.
If I would do it in my office.
Yeah, I mean, y'all are familiar with the different technologies out there. So you've got Skype, and you've got all these different type of, you can do things off your desktop. And the essential thing is had the growth of video conferencing really has been the fact that the IP networks, over the internet, in the old days, they didn't really work very well, but today they do. And that's really the secret to somebody from India hooking up to somebody in Nashville or Murfreesboro. Because of the fact that that same traffic that runs your computer efficiently most of the time, right? It can now, the networks are sophisticated enough that it can run a video call in a similar manner. So it's really a tribute to the networks, because the hardware has always kind of been there for a number of years, but the networks were kind of trailing it as they were trying to get it out to some of these different countries and rural areas and everything. But I will say this real quick as a commercial, okay, sorry, but for everybody here that's a citizen, in the state of Tennessee and everything, that Tennessee has done a marvelous job with distance education and telemedicine deployment. We're one of the most wired states in the country. I mean, and very, very sophisticated compared to a lot of other states. So not too bad. But the internet protocols, the IP that you're familiar with on your computer, that's what's making this thing go. Those networks are just a lot more reliable, a lot more robust, a lot more bandwidth. Yes, ma'am.
Are you familiar with Daniel Pink and the Whole New Brain?
I've heard the name. Huh?
Anyway, his book talks about how technology and everything are tending to go to China and India, and that the United States is only going to survive by being the thought people
Right.
coming up with ideas. How do you think that would affect your business? I mean, do you think that your business would be, if technology goes overseas?
Well, I mean, we're always looking for people that have intellectual, knowledge, and our goal for the next few years is to build a business intellectual property portion of it and everything. So if you know of anybody that's interested in programming for my business, let us know. We're hiring today. And we're looking everywhere. I mean, in a business that's based in Tennessee, we see the world because of the technology it is bigger, but it's really smaller if you stop and think about it, connecting all these different locations to the states and using video conferencing. So we think that the sophistication that's going to, and the growth is going to have some more needs for people to do programming and things that we're going to have to thrive as a business. I mean, we're doing well in this economy, and I think one of the reasons that we're doing well is that we've been able to take and separate what we do and not make it an item sale like hardware or something, but make it, where we're actually working with the customers and showing them how to use it, applications, programming devices to where they use our technology every day, and it's not just like a little specialty item. I mean, I use my video conferencing system in Memphis to hook up to the salespeople on my sales team here in the Nashville area every week, every Monday morning. So I'm not just selling it, I'm using it to run my business. Because I'm getting old and I can't make this trip every week, It's so it gets, but it's good technology, and I think, in terms of, the future, intellectual property, people like Kevin that can program and do things like that, that's, the direction it's being taken and everything, so it really is a lot of fun.